Penumbra Black Plague was the successor to Penumbra Overture, continuing the story of Philip in the depths of northern Greenland. Great care was put into Black Plague's atmosphere and scare elements after the release of Overture, with the developers, Frictional Games, taking note of feedback from the consumers as to what scared them and what didn't. Thus, Black Plague was released and was found to generally be more atmospheric and scarier than Overture had been. Showcasing this refined design, here are the top 10 scariest events in Penumbra Black Plague. After crawling through dark and dangerous vents to try and escape a new and confusing location, you drop down into a small walk-in freezer and catch a glimpse of someone, or something, rushing by a closed door through a small window. You get only a second, but it's the first real presentation of a threat in the facility you find yourself in, and it's pretty shocking to see that humanoids are now out and about, compared to the fauna of the previous game. The door won't open, thankfully, and the protagonist aptly states afterward that it's one door I don't mind being locked. During the search for a keycard nearing the end of the game, the protagonist ventures through the facility's kennel area. Fencing, shelters, and a note from the past await you in this dark place, as well as a creeping horror that lurks in the walls and scurries away from the light. Clarence messing with your vision, and strange sounds coming from all over don't make this place feel any safer. The eerie feeling peaks when you come across a room littered with the corpses of dead dogs, which look to be the same kind you encountered earlier in Penumbra Overture. Exiting this room results in a fright. A hallucination of a dog rushes at you, disappearing before making contact. Clarence shows no reaction to this encounter, so it could either be another one of his pranks, or the protagonist going insane all on his own. An unnerving conclusion either way, from a frightening and surprising moment. It's still early in the game when you're looking for any way to progress to a supposed safe area. Forcing the entire area to go dark is the only way to get past a locked cell door. The only real thing of value in the newly opened room? A syringe. And once you grab it,
is someone there?
something walks through the door outside, and soon enough, you're met face to face by a humanoid creature which attacks you on sight for the very first time. Escaping is fairly straightforward, but it still makes protest afterward. All the signs up to now point towards a virus turning people into zombie-like beings, and this is the first real encounter with one. This brush with death isn't your last, as there are more, quite like this one, throughout the rest of the game.
There's just something about a rusty saw that just makes me purr. Had a tetanus jab recently?
After acquiring a saw needed to progress, you're alerted to an unwelcome visitor. A Turngate infected. You don't have much time to hide as you're confined to just the one room, the armory. If you're lucky, he can shut the door on himself. But if you're unlucky, he bursts through that door, and you're left facing a pretty angry infected, so you better hide, quick. He is no stronger or weaker than those encountered before, but being cornered in a room definitely has you at a disadvantage. Entering the chemical laboratory near the end of the game seems difficult enough, with the gas leak and Clarence's pestering being the initial obstacles. But soon, something unexpected happens.
Take a right turn. Monkey, they're everywhere. Don't go on. Turn around. You'll get us killed. Switch. Guard. They see us.
Clarence actually stops his taunts for once and starts warning you about enemies, as well as showing some remaining connection to the Turngate infected. It's well needed, as you soon discover more infected personnel and have to navigate a maze full of several security cameras. The final area has you narrowly escape more infected, barricading yourself in a single room, fortunately with what you need to progress inside. With the infected banging on the door the whole time, the last thing that stands in your way is an emergency exit with a timer set at 2 minutes. This whole area is indeed one tense sequence after another. At this point, you're still struggling to deal with the addition of a disembodied voice berating and taunting you as you enter the facility's computer central. It's not long before another voice greets you, this time from behind a door. A very one-sided conversation reveals that this is Dr. Eminis, someone you've been warned about by Amabel Swanson. The doctor offers to help you progress, and once you bring him the saw he needs to carry out this task...
39 minutes and 12.4 seconds since something good last happened.
Brother, come for us. He's over here. Embrace me, glorious void. Embrace me.
He succumbs to the Turngate infection and attacks you. There's nowhere to go and no place to hide in the small area, only a room to trap the infected doctor in.
My congratulations. Honestly, I mean it. Well done. I was only joking about the come get 'em thing.
All is successful, but Eminis is still only a sealed door away. Clarence's taunting after the fact does not help. The trippiest section of the game reveals itself to you shortly after you collapse, unconscious, in the sewers. At first, it's simple, room-to-room, imagery-related puzzles, but the rooms get darker and darker as you move forward, with the tension growing over time. This culminates in a short chase sequence over a bottomless pit and a narrow hallway, the familiar music and sounds of a giant worm getting closer and closer is all too unwelcome, even in the protagonist's hallucinations. A simple exploration of the shelter's machine room turns into one of the most terrifying sequences in the entire game.
Let me guess. that was an important corpse.
One of the worms finally corners you in a room that seals itself off, and this time, there's nowhere to run. You can only dodge and wait for a very short moment to finally fight back. The worm juts out of the walls and the ceiling, so only someone quick on their feet will avoid this thing long enough to finally take some kind of revenge for all the trouble it's put them through.
It's not too late to just slam your head against the wall until you pass out, you know. It might be easier than carrying on. You know, the one thing that keeps me going is that when I finally work out how to end all this, you're coming with me.
And after all that, Clarence once again follows up on things with his own witty and unwelcome commentary. After braving another cold surface level of Greenland, you enter the ruined and locked down complex that houses Dr. Swanson. Immediately upon entering, you find the hallways are still populated by multiple Turn-Get-Infected, with weapons and flashlights, making it incredibly easy to pick you out among the blocked-off hallways and maze-like corridors. With no way out and nothing to do except brave the halls, this last area tests any player's strength, nerves, and courage, with the multiple roaming horrors out to get you. Clarence's demise near the end of the game doesn't come easily. Immediately after gathering all the materials needed to produce a cure for the infection, you return to the infected corridors. Right away, Clarence makes it clear he isn't going down without a fight. And fight he does.
I'm taking you with me.
Clarence goes crazy in the protagonist's head, changing corridors, causing noises and hallucinations, making it easier for the infected to chase after you. It's a hellish and tense sequence, with Clarence laughing all the way along.
Viruses can spread quickly. Avoid all unnecessary bodily fluid exchange.
You do eventually get inside the exam room, and after a bit of reading, cure yourself. But the nightmare isn't over. Clarence's mind is suddenly transferred over to a dead body in the same room, and he attacks like a madman, laughing and ranting in his new horrid form.
Finally, I have had to destroy you.
Only after escaping does Clarence meet his end at the hands of the Hive Mind, ending the last great fright of the game and leading into the mystery and ambiguity of the game's ending segments.
At the end, this one was more human than he would have believed.
That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this one, and other horror-related content. Thanks to all you horror fans for watching. I am the Midnight Researcher, and I will see you all around.